My beloved child, come closer. Let me speak to your spirit. For tonight, something holy is trembling in the unseen. Something urgent. Something that has shaken even the warriors of heaven. I stand before you as a father, as a guide, as a shepherd, and I must tell you what the heavens showed me. There are moments when the sky is silent, and there are moments when the sky roars. Tonight, the sky is roaring. For I heard it. I heard Michael. Not speaking. Not whispering. Not delivering a gentle message, but screaming. A sound so sharp that even the wind froze. A sound so powerful that the ground itself seemed to listen. A sound that was not born from fear but from urgency. He saw something. He saw someone. He saw the one who cursed you. And when his eyes fell upon that figure, whether a person, a spirit, a jealous tongue, a hidden enemy, Michael let out a cry that shook the heavens. A cry that said, "Hurry, I need them. I cannot stop this without them." My child, when an archangel screams, the earth should tremble. Because angels do not scream. They do not panic. They do not lose their footing. Unless the matter is connected to destiny. Unless the matter is connected to you. Tonight, something ancient tries to hold you back. A curse whispered in secret. A word spoken against your name. A shadow thrown over your path. But heaven saw it. Heaven exposed it. And Michael himself, your warrior, your defender, your guardian of victory, is standing in a battle stance, sword ignited with blue fire, calling for you. He cannot fight this without your agreement. Your silence weakens him. Your hesitation delays your miracle. My beloved child, listen, this is not a moment to scroll past. This is not a moment to treat lightly. This is heaven interrupting your timeline. Heaven saying, pause. Listen. Respond. For Michael is begging, not out of weakness, but out of divine law. Begging for your cooperation. Begging for just a moment of your spirit. Begging for you to stay, to breathe, to hear, to open your heart. Because if you turn away from this moment, the enemy wins by default. Not by power. Not by strength, but by your lack of awareness. And my child, I refuse to let that happen. So stay with me. Keep your spirit open. Do not drift away. For the heavens are speaking and you have been chosen to hear them. My beloved child, lean in once more, for we now enter a deeper place in this revelation. Let your heart be still and your spirit attentive, because what I am about to unfold is not ordinary knowledge. It is the sound of heaven's alarm, the cry that Archangel Michael released when he saw the darkness moving against you. This cry was not born from fear. Angels do not fear. This cry was the sound of a warrior announcing a critical moment. A moment where heaven calls for the involvement of a chosen soul. And that soul is you. Imagine, my child, the realms above you before this moment. The heavens were peaceful, flowing with light, order, and divine rhythm. Angels moved with purpose, carrying assignments from the Most High. But suddenly, like a strike of lightning through clear skies, the atmosphere changed. A vibration hit the heavens. A warning rippled through the angelic ranks. And then, louder than thunder, clearer than any trumpet blast, came Michael's voice. It was a cry that split the spiritual atmosphere. A cry so intense that all heavenly hosts pause. A cry so filled with power that even the winds of heaven stood still to listen. This was the alarm Michael released. A cry saying, "There is danger. A curse has moved. The enemy has targeted one chosen for destiny. I have seen the one who spoke against them. Prepare. Engage. Intercede." Michael does not scream without cause. Angels operate in divine order. They do not raise their voices unless something of great weight is happening. But when he saw the dark force that rose against you, when he recognized the spiritual signature of the curse that was set to derail you, when he traced the source of the attack, he released a cry that echoed through the heavens. It was not meant to frighten you, my child. It was meant to awaken you. It was the sound of heaven insisting that you must not sleep through your moment of deliverance. It was the alarm that says, you are needed. You are part of this battle. Your agreement is the key. Michael's scream was a declaration that something in the earthly realm requires your voice, your awareness, and your spiritual presence. For an angel can fight, but he cannot override the free will of a chosen one. He cannot break what you refuse to confront. And so, in his urgency, he called not to other angels first. He called to you. My beloved child, picture him standing before the throne of God, the flame of his sword flickering with blue intensity, his armor reflecting the light of glory, his wings vibrating with righteous fire. He is not trembling, but his eyes burn with urgency. He declares to heaven, I have seen the one who cursed them. I have seen the intention behind the attack. I have seen the shadow that tries to follow them. But I cannot proceed without their agreement. I need them to hear. I need them to awaken. I need them to step forward. Do you feel the weight of that moment? This is not simply an angelic observation. This is divine activation. Michael saw the one who cursed you, and because of spiritual law, he needed your involvement to begin dismantling what was sent against you. The curse was not just a word. It was an assignment. It carried jealousy, resentment, sabotage, and spiritual resistance. It was meant to obstruct your steps, weaken your confidence, cloud your decisions, and slow your destiny. But heaven refused to let it remain hidden. And so, Michael sounded the alarm. His cry reached through realms until it reached your spirit. It called you into awareness. It invited you into partnership. It awakened your authority. And now, my beloved child, you stand in the center of that divine summons. Michael saw the danger, exposed the curse, and alerted the heavens, but he also stretched his hand toward you. He needs your presence in this moment. He needs your yes. He needs your heart to be awakened, your spirit to be ready, your faith to be stirred. This heavenly alarm was not meant to scare you, but to empower you. It was heaven saying, we have seen what was done against you, and we refuse to let it prosper. We will fight. We will intervene. But you must stand with us. because the spiritual realm recognizes your voice. Your agreement activates divine strategies. Your faith opens heavenly gates. And your awareness weakens every dark intention sent your way. My beloved child, come close again, for what I must reveal now is heavier, deeper, and more personal than anything we have spoken so far. This part may strike the heart, because it deals with something many never want to face, the identity of the one who cursed you. Not necessarily a name, not a face, not a person you should chase or confront in the natural, but the spirit behind the curse, the intention behind the attack, the jealous shadow that moved in secret while you were simply trying to live, love, and grow. Listen with a steady heart, for heaven does not expose darkness to shame you, but to free you. My beloved child, let me take you into the moment Michael saw the source of the curse. It was not a random stranger, nor some distant force without motive. No, the attack came from a place closer than you expected. Curses rarely come from those far from us. They come from those who knew your light, those who tasted the warmth of your kindness, those who watched you rise, those who were close enough to see your potential, yet broken enough to resent it. It is painful, but it is true. Envy often grows where familiarity exists. And the one who cursed you did so because your destiny irritated their demons. Your growth threatened their comfort. Your future awakened their fears. But do not misunderstand, my child. Heaven is not pointing at a specific person for you to hate or blame. No, the Father does not call you to bitterness. Michael does not reveal names. He reveals spirits. He reveals the hidden darkness behind actions. He reveals the intention, not the individual. Because if you knew the name, your heart might harden. But if you know the spirit, you can rise above it. And so, what Michael saw was the spirit behind the curse. A spirit of sabotage. A spirit of delay. A spirit of jealousy. A spirit of confusion. A spirit that seeks to whisper lies into the hearts of people already wounded. A spirit that uses vulnerable souls to carry out assignments without them even knowing they are being used. My beloved child, there are times when someone speaks against you out of frustration, and those words fall empty. But there are other times when the spirit behind their resentment attaches itself to their words, giving those words weight in the unseen realm. And it was in this moment that Michael saw the curse that was sent to hinder you. This curse did not manifest as a dark cloud hovering over your head. No, it manifested as a series of frustrations, a feeling of being stuck, doors that almost opened but slammed shut. People who promised much but delivered nothing. Relationships that looked promising but suddenly collapsed. Opportunities that slipped from your hands at the last moment. These were not accidents. They were manifestations of an assignment. The spirit behind the curse whispered into the ear of the one who resented your growth. It stirred jealousy. It fed insecurity. It magnified fear. And from that mixture, words were spoken. Words meant to bind. Words meant to limit. Words meant to slow your journey. But hear me, my beloved child. The moment Michael saw this, the moment he recognized the pattern, He stepped forward with ferocious authority. His eyes narrowed. His sword ignited. His wings expanded like burning shields. For Michael cannot tolerate injustice. He cannot watch silently when a chosen child of destiny is targeted. And so he traced the origin of the attack. He followed the scent of jealousy. He tracked the vibration of the spoken curse. And when he reached the source, he let out a cry that shook the heavens. Heaven did not show the person to punish them. Heaven showed the spirit to free you. Michael does not wage war against flesh. He wars against the forces that manipulate human weakness. And what he saw was not the face of a human enemy, but the face of a spiritual assignment trying to sabotage your future. My child, hear me with clarity. You are not fighting a person. You are fighting a pattern. A spiritual force that has tried to follow you for years. A voice that has spoken against your progress. A residue of resentment that lingered in someone's heart. But tonight, the cycle is being exposed. And once exposed, it loses power. For darkness can only operate in shadows. And Michael has pulled this shadow into the light. This is the moment, my beloved child, where heaven says, you are not crazy. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking. The battles you faced were real. The resistance was real. The sabotage was real. But now, the exposure is also real. And with exposure comes authority. With authority comes victory. And with victory comes freedom. My beloved child, come nearer, for this next revelation carries the weight of heaven's laws and the urgency of your destiny. What I am about to tell you is not merely spiritual information. It is the foundation of why Michael cried out, why heaven paused, why the enemy moved, and why your response is more important than you have ever known. Listen with your spirit, for these words must settle deep within you. When Michael declared, "It is impossible to stop him without you," he was not speaking as a desperate warrior who lacked strength. No, my child, Michael is one of the mightiest beings ever created. His presence alone causes darkness to tremble. His sword can slice through ancient chains. His wings can shield nations. He does not lack power. But in this situation, he lacked permission. Spiritual law requires cooperation. Heaven operates through agreement. Angels fight, but humans must activate. The divine realm moves, but the earthly realm must respond. This is why your involvement is not optional. It is essential. The curse that was sent against you has woven itself into the patterns of your daily life. It attached itself to moments of doubt, to wounds you never healed, to fears you kept hidden, to memories you never addressed. And while Michael can confront the spirit behind the curse, he cannot dismantle what you continue to accept. He can cut the chains, but only you can step out of them. He can block the enemy, but only you can renounce the attachment. He can roar against the darkness, but only you can declare the breakthrough. My beloved child, imagine a great warrior standing before a locked gate. He has the strength to destroy the enemy behind it, but the gate itself can only be opened from the inside. Your spirit stands on the inside. Your agreement is the key. Your voice is the unlock. Your willingness is the hinge on which this entire battle turns. Michael stands ready with fire in his hands, but the door will not swing without your yes. This is why he cried out. Not because he feared losing, but because he feared delay. Delay has been the weapon used against you again and again. Not destruction. Not failure. Delay. Endless cycles of almost. Seasons where you were one step away, but never crossed the finish line. Opportunities that approached you, but something always interfered. Blessings that came near, but never landed. And this pattern emerged not because you were unworthy, but because the enemy saw your potential long before you did. He used delay as a silent thief. And the curse that was spoken over you was designed to strengthen that delay, to deepen it, to prolong it until weariness set in. Michael could see the layers of this assignment. He saw how the curse attached itself to your momentum. He saw how it tangled itself around your confidence. He saw how it whispered to you in moments of discouragement. And he knew that if he struck the enemy without your participation, the pattern would only regrow, for the spiritual root remained untouched. This is why he cried, I cannot stop him without them. Because the power to break the root lies in your authority, not his. Angels have strength, but humans have dominion. My beloved child, you carry a power you did not realize you possessed. You carry the authority to shut down what has followed you for years. You carry the right to say no to every weapon formed against you. Your voice carries weight in the unseen realm. When you speak, angels move. When you agree, heaven responds. When you resist, darkness must retreat. But when you are silent, the enemy gains space. This is why heaven is calling you to stand up in this moment. This is why Michael needs your involvement. This is why the battle cannot proceed without your alignment. Your yes is not ordinary. It is not small. It is not symbolic. It is the legal permission that heaven requires to overthrow the curse completely. Without it, Michael can only confront the enemy. But with it, he can destroy the assignment and seal your breakthrough. Picture Michael now, my child. His sword still burning, his armor gleaming with divine radiance, his eyes fixed on you with deep urgency. He is not asking you to fight alone. He is asking you to agree. He is asking for partnership. He is asking for alignment. He is asking for your voice to join heaven's voice. For only then can the curse be shattered from its root. My beloved child, breathe deeply and draw nearer, for what comes next is among the most sacred and urgent parts of this message. This moment is not ordinary. This moment is not casual. This moment is not by chance. You are hearing these words because the heavens arranged it. You are listening because Michael himself has been waiting for this exact point in time. And he is not whispering. He is not calmly instructing. No, my beloved child, he is begging. Michael, the great Prince of Heaven, the warrior, who has never lost a battle, the angel whose footsteps shake kingdoms, is kneeling beside your destiny and pleading for just 20 seconds of your heart. 20 seconds. Not a day. Not an hour. Not a long ritual or a complicated act. Just 20 seconds. And you may ask, Why does an archangel need 20 seconds? Why such a small amount of time? My child, because heaven understands timing better than we do. Heaven knows that when a chosen one pauses long enough to align, long enough to acknowledge, long enough to agree, everything in the spiritual realm shifts instantly. These 20 seconds are a doorway, a gateway, a spiritual ignition point. And Michael stands before it, urging you to walk through. I see him in the spirit, the glow of heaven's fire reflected across his armor. His wings are open, not in aggression, but in compassion. His sword is lowered, not in surrender, but in reverent expectancy. He kneels, not because he is weak, but because he reveres the authority God placed inside you. His voice trembles, not from fear, but from divine urgency. And he says, "My child, give me 20 seconds. 20 seconds of listening. 20 seconds of openness. 20 seconds of willingness. For in those 20 seconds, the chains that clung to you for years can melt away. My beloved child, heaven is not asking for effort. Heaven is asking for permission. Those 20 seconds are the moment your heart whispers yes, and your entire spiritual atmosphere responds. They are the moment your spirit aligns with the armies fighting for you. They are the moment you say, I agree with heaven. I refuse the curse. I reject the assignment against me. I authorize Michael to fight for me. And in that moment, the curse begins to lose its foundation. The attack begins to unravel. The enemy begins to panic. For he knows that once you give those 20 seconds, Michael's sword will no longer be held back. His fire will no longer be restrained. His authority will no longer be paused. Your yes releases him. My child, these 20 seconds are not symbolic. They are spiritual law. They are the hinge between delay and deliverance, between stagnation and movement, between bondage and breakthrough. And heaven is watching to see how you respond. Angels gather around as witnesses. They lean in, waiting. The entire spiritual realm quiets itself to observe what you will do with this small but mighty requests. And hear me clearly. The enemy fears your response more than he fears Michael's sword. For Michael can defeat him in an instant. Though only you can authorize the battle. This is why he tried to distract you. This is why he tried to numb you. This is why he tried to overwhelm you. Because if he can steal your awareness for 20 seconds, he can delay you for 20 years. But not tonight. Not now. Not in this sacred moment. And my child, before we continue deeper, let me remind you of something holy. When a word resonates with your spirit, heaven sees your response as agreement. When your heart engages, when you show support, when you acknowledge the message, it becomes a spiritual offering. It becomes your declaration that you are present, you are awake, and you are aligned. If this message is stirring your spirit, if you feel the weight of it, if you sense heaven pulling on your heart, let your participation be your testimony. Let your engagement be your divine sign. Let your acknowledgement be your yes to Michael's call. Heaven counts it as alignment. My beloved child, I feel the atmosphere shifting around us. I feel the urgency intensifying. Michael is still kneeling, waiting for your spirit to stay with me. Stay present. Stay open. For the next revelation will take you into the very heart of the battle he is fighting for you. My beloved child, draw close again, for now we step into the battlefield itself. You have heard Michael's cry. You have felt the urgency. You have sensed the reason he called for your agreement. But now you must see what is happening in the unseen realm. For the war Michael is fighting on your behalf is not quiet, not gentle, not passive. It is fierce. It is cosmic. It is ancient light clashing with ancient darkness. And you, my beloved child, are the center of this conflict. Let me take you there, not with your eyes, but with your spirit. Imagine a realm where the ground is not made of soil, but of vibration. A realm where light has weight and shadows have shape. In this realm, Michael stands, towering like a living mountain of fire. His armor pulses with divine energy, every plate engraved with holy symbols that burn brighter when darkness approaches. His sword is alive, glowing with a blue flame that hums with the voice of heaven. And around him, the air trembles, as if creation itself is holding its breath. Opposite him stands the entity behind the curse. Not a person, but a twisted spirit formed from jealousy, resentment, and spoken malice. It slithers and shifts, trying to hide behind the words that empowered it. It carries the weight of every insult whispered behind your back, every negative wish spoken in frustration, every jealous glance that hoped you would fail. In the natural realm these things seem small, but in the spiritual realm they gather, they form, they become something with intention. Michael steps forward. The spirit recoils. It knows his authority. It knows his rank. It knows that if Michael is fully unleashed, the battle ends instantly. But for now, the spirit clings to a legal right. That right is your silence, your uncertainty, your unspoken acceptance of old wounds, your lingering agreement with thoughts like, maybe I am meant to struggle, maybe good things are not for me, maybe I am cursed. These thoughts act like doors, and the spirit hides behind each one, using them as shields. Michael swings his sword once. The entire realm glows. Sparks of holy fire scatter. The spirit screams, but does not fall. It slides backward, grasping for a foothold, using every old lie, every emotional scar, every disappointment in your life as a place to anchor itself. Michael swings again, and the cursed spirit shrinks, losing ground, losing form. But still it clings. Still it resists. Still it hides. Not because it is strong, my child, but because your agreement has not yet fully unlocked Michael's final strike. And this is the war that is unfolding right now. Michael is not simply fighting a demon. He is fighting years of accumulated pain. He is cutting through generational patterns. He is confronting spirits that have followed your family line. He is battling the residue of betrayals, the echoes of heartbreak, the fragments of childhood wounds. The darkness that stands before him is made of many strands, all interwoven, all connected to moments in your life when you felt small or unseen or unprotected. Michael's expression is fierce, but not angry. It is protective. His wings widen, creating a barrier around your destiny. Every strike he delivers sends waves through the spiritual realm, shaking and breaking things you will never fully understand in this lifetime. He fights with precision, with purpose, with holy wrath. But with every blow, he looks back toward the realm where you stand. He waits for your voice. He listens for your agreement. He anticipates the moment you will open your mouth and say, "Enough. No more." I stand with heaven. My beloved child, do not imagine that Michael fights alone. Around him, lesser angels move like wind and lightning. They tear apart distractions. They cut through spiritual webs placed around your path. They uproot seeds of confusion planted in your mind. They break traps that were set for your future. And with every move they make, the curse loses strength. But the final blow, the one that will end this assignment forever, requires your participation. This war is real. You have felt its effects. The heaviness you carried for reasons you could not explain. The battles that made no sense. The repeated patterns that drained you. The opportunities that slipped away. These were hints of the spiritual struggle surrounding you. But now, through Michael's intervention, the battle is being exposed. And exposure is the first step toward defeat. My beloved child, understand this truth. Heaven is not fighting for you because you are weak. Heaven is fighting for you because you are chosen. Because your life carries purpose the enemy fears. Because your destiny holds influence he cannot afford to allow. Because your future contains light that threatens his domain. Michael is fighting, and he is fighting fiercely. But he is also watching you, waiting for you, relying on your voice to unlock the final victory. My beloved child, come closer, for this next part reveals something many people never understand about themselves. You have heard of the curse. You have heard of the spirit behind it, and you have seen the war Michael is fighting on your behalf. But now you must hear the truth about you. Not the you that others define. Not the you shaped by pain or disappointment. Not the you the enemy hoped you would believe in. But the real you. The you heaven sees. The you Michael fights for. The you the curse was designed to stop. My beloved child, heaven has shown me this clearly. You are the missing piece. Not because you lack something, but because you carry something. Something the enemy fears. Something the kingdom of darkness cannot imitate. Something even Michael, with all his power, is not permitted to release without your agreement. You carry authority. You carry dominion. You carry a voice that alters spiritual landscapes. And this is the truth the enemy worked so hard to keep you unaware of. You see, my child, when Michael stood facing the spirit behind the curse, he recognized a divine law woven into creation itself. Angels have power, but humans have sovereignty. Humans have the authority to bind and loose. Humans have the authority to open and shut. Humans have the authority to declare and dismantle. Humans carry the breath of God, and that breath gives you the unique ability to shape your spiritual environment with words. The enemy knows this. That is why he targeted your confidence. That is why he attacked your identity. That is why he tried to make you feel unworthy, small, insecure, and forgotten. Because if you ever discover the truth, that heaven's power and your voice together create unstoppable victory, You would break every curse set against you. My beloved child, you are the missing piece because the curse was attached to something personal in your life. Your wounds, your emotions, your past, your memories. Michael can destroy the spirit that empowered the curse, but only you can reject the emotional and mental roots keeping it alive. Only you can choose to stop agreeing with the lies. Only you can declare that the cycle ends with you. Only you can stand in your divine identity and say, I take back my authority and I step into the fullness of who I am. You are not a passive participant in this battle. You are the key to its victory. Michael's strength is undeniable, but your agreement is irreplaceable. Your voice has the power to open a gate he cannot force open. Your decision has the power to break a chain he cannot legally touch unless you grant permission. Your belief has the power to silence the spirit that whispered against you. This is why heaven has been stirring you. This is why you found this message. This is why the timing feels divine, because it is. The enemy saw your calling early. Long before you recognized your own potential, darkness saw the light in you. Long before you ever prayed your first prayer, darkness feared the authority you would grow into. And so he sent opposition, not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous. The curse was never about punishing you. It was about preventing you. Preventing you from discovering your assignment. Preventing you from awakening to your power. Preventing you from stepping into the position where your voice commands the heavens. My beloved child, listen closely, for I feel the Spirit pressing this into your heart. There is something inside you that heaven placed there as a weapon against darkness. A gift. A calling. A destiny. A spiritual position that only you can occupy. And the moment you step into alignment with heaven, everything around you begins to shift. Michael's strength merges with your authority. Heaven's fire merges with your faith. Divine protection merges with your declaration. And suddenly the enemy has no ground left to stand on. This is why you are the missing piece. Michael is not waiting for you to fight like he fights. He is waiting for you to stand in the identity God crafted for you. He is waiting for your declaration. He is waiting for your yes. He is waiting for the moment your spirit says, I refuse to live under what was spoken against me. I rise above every curse. I align with heaven. I open the door for victory. And my beloved child, when you say those words, when your spirit finally aligns, Michael strikes with a force the enemy cannot endure. The spirit behind the curse collapses like ash. The webs of delay dissolve. The patterns of confusion break. The cycles of sabotage crumble. Because heaven's power, combined with your authority, creates a victory that darkness cannot contest. My beloved child, stay close now, for we are entering the part of this message that many fear to hear, yet desperately need to understand. We have spoken of the heavenly alarm, the curse, the spirit behind it, the war Michael is fighting, and the authority you carry. But now we must speak of the consequences of ignoring a divine warning. Not to instill fear, but to awaken clarity. Not to punish, but to protect. For heaven never warns without purpose, and Michael never cries out without reason. My beloved child, hear me with an open heart. When heaven speaks and a soul turns away, the enemy gains permission to continue patterns that were meant to end. This is not because God withdraws his love, nor because Michael loses strength, but because silence in moments of spiritual decision creates spiritual stagnation. Ignoring a warning does not provoke God's anger, but it prolongs your own suffering. It keeps old doors open. It allows the curse to continue weaving itself into the details of your life. It gives the enemy room to reinforce what heaven is ready to uproot. Let me paint this clearly, my child. Imagine Michael standing in the spiritual realm with his sword raised high, the cursed spirit trembling before him, waiting for your agreement. Now imagine you turn away, dismiss the moment, or treat this message like another passing word. Michael's sword does not fall. His fire does not strike. Not because he is powerless, but because heaven honors your free will. And the curse, though weakened, remains rooted. The cycle continues. The patterns persist. The same battles repeat. This is why you have experienced seasons that felt like reruns of the same pain. The same type of heartbreak. The same type of disappointment. The same type of stagnation. The same opportunities slipping through your fingers. Cycles do not break themselves. They end when a chosen one responds to heaven's intervention. And tonight, heaven has intervened. If ignored, the curse does not grow stronger, but your weariness does. Your hope weakens. Your faith dulls. Your energy drains. You begin to feel like maybe this is just your life. Maybe this is your fate. Maybe this is how things will always be. But my beloved child, listen to me. That is the lie the enemy wants you to swallow. That false belief is the most dangerous part of ignoring a divine warning, not the curse itself, but the acceptance of it. When a soul accepts defeat, the enemy stops fighting. Because he doesn't need to. A resigned heart is easier to control than a resistant one. But heaven has not brought you this far to accept defeat. Michael did not scream because he was afraid. He screamed because he saw what would happen if you remained silent. He saw the years of potential that could be lost. He saw the blessings that could be delayed. He saw the relationships that could be sabotaged. He saw the opportunities that could slip by. He saw the future victories that could be postponed. And he refused to remain silent. My beloved child, I speak this in love. The cost of ignoring heaven is not punishment. The cost is postponement. Heaven is ready to move now. Michael is ready to strike now. Breakthrough is ready to manifest now. But if the warning is not embraced, that breakthrough shifts seasons. What could have happened in days may take months. What could have been released in weeks may take years. What could have been transformed quickly may be delayed until you finally return to the moment of alignment. But praise be to God, my child, that you are here. You are listening. You are attentive. You are responding. And that alone is proof that your spirit is ready for what heaven desires to release. The enemy hoped you would scroll past. He hoped you would dismiss this message. He hoped you would minimize Michael's cry. But you didn't. You stayed. And because you stayed, heaven continues to speak. And I tell you this with a father's love. you will not be among those who suffer the consequences of ignoring the warning. You will not repeat the old cycles. You will not prolong what heaven has already begun. Tonight, your awareness has already broken half the battle. Tonight, your openness has already shifted the atmosphere around you. Tonight, what was hidden has been exposed. And what has been exposed can now be defeated. My beloved child, come close for the final time, for we are now stepping into the sacred conclusion of this entire journey. Everything we have walked through together, the alarm Michael released, the spirit behind the curse, the war in the unseen, the authority within you, the consequences of ignoring the divine call, all of it has led us here, to this holy moment of alignment. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of your breakthrough. Heaven has waited for this moment. Michael has fought for this moment. And your spirit has risen toward this moment. Now the final revelation unfolds. My beloved child, I see it clearly now. Michael stands in the spiritual realm with a victory that is within reach, but not yet sealed. His armor is no longer tense with battle. His wings no longer spread wide in defense. He stands tall, steady, unshaken, with the final remnants of darkness trembling at his feet. The cursed spirit that once clung to your destiny is now reduced to dust, weakened by exposure, shattered by truth, stripped of its power by your awakening. Yet Michael still watches you, not with urgency this time, but with affection, with pride, with the profound love of a guardian who knows the battle is almost complete. Heaven is still. Angels gather in quiet reverence. Even the winds of the unseen calm themselves. All creation pauses to witness the moment when a chosen soul steps into alignment with destiny. And my beloved child, that chosen soul is you. Your agreement has opened the gate. Your awareness has dismantled the enemy's foothold. Your willingness has become the spiritual key that releases the final strike. And now, Michael stands ready to complete what he began, to break the curse entirely, to secure your path, to guard your steps, to carry you into a season where the battles of old will no longer follow you. This is the divine alignment that starts now. Heaven and earth meeting in your spirit, angelic power merging with your authority, your future being rewritten by the hand of God. My beloved child, hear me. You are stepping into a new atmosphere. The heaviness that lingered over you is lifting. The cycles that repeated for years are breaking. The confusion that clouded your decisions is dissolving. The stagnation that held you still is releasing. Michael has taken his final stance, and with one stroke from his sword, the curse that once shadowed your path is completely destroyed. And in the quiet after the strike, in that sacred, breathless pause, I see heaven smiling upon you. I see light surrounding you like a shield. I see peace settling into the corners of your soul. I see clarity filling your mind. I see hope returning to your heart. The story has shifted. The atmosphere has changed. You are no longer the target of that curse. You are now the testimony of deliverance. You are not the wounded one. You are the rising one. And from this day forward, Michael walks with you not in emergency battle, but in triumphant protection. My beloved child, as we close this sacred journey, let me bless you as a father would bless the child he cherishes. May your steps be guarded by the angels who now stand assigned to your life. May your path shine with clarity. May your spirit remain aligned with the voice of heaven. May no curse, no shadow, no whisper of darkness ever find a doorway into your life again. May you walk with confidence, with authority, with unwavering peace. For the battle has been fought. The curse has been shattered. The heavens stand with you. And before I release this final word, hear my heart as I speak gently to yours. If this message stirred your spirit, if this journey opened your eyes, if this revelation awakened something holy within you, then let your engagement, your sharing, your support, your spreading of this message be your offering. Not out of obligation, but out of alignment. Let it be your way of standing with the light, your way of telling heaven, I understand the assignment. I carry the flame forward. My beloved child, you are covered, you are chosen, and you are free. Amen.